And we are live. Let me make sure that this is recording to the iCloud. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is February 12th, a few minutes late on today's broadcast. Hey, what are we going to do about it? So, Super Bowl Sunday was yesterday. Let's just give a recap right there. Fantastic game. I did want the Niners to win. My dad's a Joe Montana fan. Granted, he lived in Miami, so my dad's like a Dan Marino, Joe Montana fan. That's like the only football he paid attention to when he moved here in like the 70s, early 80s. And then he never paid attention to like football. And then when I was born and I got into sports, my dad, like the only football players you could tell me about was like OJ Simpson, Joe Montana, Dan Marino. My dad always thought Joe Montana was like the coolest quarterback ever. So like in my head, I always knew like Joe Montana, Dan Marino were like the two best quarterbacks, like from a father who didn't follow football. So I was cheering for the Niners. So it was upsetting to see that. But that's who were you cheering for, Jackson? Or
For the Chiefs.
did you have any money on the game?
Uh, it doesn't really matter.
So you didn't, so those bets didn't hit.
No.
It was a rough day for my man. But either way, did you see what we were awoken to this morning? Mitch Kupchak is no longer the general manager of or the head of basketball operations for the Charlotte Hornets, the guy who won 4 championships with the Lakers.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, so they're looking at right now the exact quote that I saw from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is first off, Trajan Langdon should be the choice here. That's like the easiest choice for me. But what we're specifically hearing is Hornets president Mitch. Let me just put this on the screen right now to show you guys what we're hearing and want to go. Which one do I want to do? Let's see over here. I'm just gonna put up a picture of Mitch Kupchak for you guys. Over here, Mr. Mitch. What a funny photo. But Mitch over here is now stepping down as into the usual, lingo they say into an advisory role, which he actually is going to continue doing his day-to-day operations till they hire someone. They're expected to hire someone before the end of the season, as there are new owners, Rick Schnall and Gabe Plotkin, who are former minority owners from the Hawks. So listen to this lineup of potential execs: Philadelphia's Elton Brand, New Orleans Trajan Langdon, who I want, Cleveland's Mike Gansey, LA Clippers Trent Redden, who's a good guy. He just recently was promoted, so I think this would be a quick turnaround if he did. Then you have Travis Schlenk from Washington, which I hope they don't steal from us. Jeff Peterson from Brooklyn, Wes Wilcox from Sacramento, and just so you know, Jeff Peterson, Travis Schleck, and Wes Wilcox all used to work for Rick Schnall when he was the minority owner of the Hawks. So just from hearing those names, if you just had to choose one, does any of those sound like interesting? I know you're not aware of the names, but is there a certain guy from a certain team that you want? I like Trajan Langdon because he's from the Spurs. Then he went to the Nets. Now he's with the Pelicans, and he was brought with like Willie Green and this whole new staff that's like made that team into a playoff team.
Uh, Not to be dramatic. I don't really.
No, you're good. You're good. I see it. For me, it's more like I want the guys coming
I
from
want
like a
Michael
good.
Jordan. I want LeBron James.
I want them to come back. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely this is was somewhat of a surprising news. Not surprising. I mean, we all saw the tea leaves, okay, but it definitely was something that I think caught people maybe by surprise, to say the least. For me, I thought the most interesting part was the timing, and this clearly means our boy Mr. Steve Clifford won't be here in the offseason. You agree?
I have no idea. Why does
Why?
that mean though?
Oh, because new ownership, new management.
Well, they. I mean, yeah, they're also like probably like 8-40,
Oh yeah,
which doesn't help.
I agree.
So
That is true. That is true.
I need
And
Charlotte to start winning some basketball games, but
they've been horrible.
they've been terrible. Brandon Miller.
Has been fantastic. has been absolutely fantastic, and that's kind of what we're getting at. They got some nice draft capital at the trade deadline, and they have Brandon Miller, they have LaMelo Ball. It's really not like the end of the world
Mark
right now.
Williams.
Mark Williams, yeah, but he's been. We don't know if he's coming back this season.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably
I
not. But
He was in and out the lineup, and then he hasn't played in what seems like forever. Also, someone the other day asked me what gel I use in my hair on YouTube.
oh, really? What gel do
Yeah,
you use?
I don't. I have
Don't
your
use
gel
any
that
gel.
no. I have the gel that you left.
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
use any gel in your hair.
no, it's all natural. Just I have a lot of volume and like my
How's
hair's
that possible, dude?
what?
It just stays.
Yeah, my hair. Yeah, it's just naturally like a lot of volume and contour, just naturally. I also have a cowlick, but yeah, well, that's because I don't have white people hair. You guys have white people hair, so your hair just falls flat.
Yeah, my hair falls very flat.
Like no offense, but that's the big one. And one second. I love how when you write something, rewrite comma form on ChatGPT, the you have to give it the most specific prompt because right now I like literally wanted this as my tags and it's just not giving me it as tags and it's just quite frustrating. I'm like, hey, can you rewrite this with commas? And it's just like commas, never heard of those, and just keeps giving me it in bullets and points because I'm trying to rewrite something
Mhm.
for as like tags. And I was instead of being like slow and just writing it manually, I was like, oh, I'll just throw it here. And it was just like, fuck you. Guess what? You're writing this by hand. Either way, let's hop into what I wanted to talk about today, and that was the best debuts we've seen over the last couple of days in the NBA. All the players that recently got traded, and you're thinking, okay, how are we gonna track this? Obviously, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the obvious ones. So let's start off with Mr. Simone Fontecchio. If you did you see his performance on his first game?
You know, I wanted to pick him up in fantasy, but I think I was out of ads, and that ship's definitely sailed now.
Let me tell
I
you.
would I
First
would
off,
assume.
he was absolutely fantastic. Dude, he's going to be a guy that I could see could be expensive when it comes to. I mean, they'll probably resign him, but I could see because they have his restricted free agency, somebody making it like a bidding war for him. But in Simone Fontecchio's debut game for the Detroit Pistons, off the bench, he dropped 20. Off the bench, 20 bomb. I mean, this guy has an offensive game similar to a younger Danilo Gallinari with better defense. In 32 minutes, he had 8 of 19, 3 of 9 from three, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 20 points, and he plays defense. He's an absolute dog. He's 6'8", kind of, and he weighs like 210, 215. I'm really excited. I think, honestly, this is kind of like he could be the guy who replaces the Boyan Bogdanovic production. What are your thoughts? I know you just say you
What?
wanted him in fan. Well, like so Boyan Bogdanovic got traded, so like 20, like they being a high scorer next to
They traded Bogdanovich?
yeah to the Knicks. We're about to do
I
Boyan's
thought that
next.
was I thought that was Bogdan.
Yeah, Boyan Bogdanovic.
Bogdan. I thought it was
Oh, like
Bogdan Bogdan.
no, 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 no. It's Boyan.
They, oh, really?
They traded Boyan. Yeah,
Oh, why the hell did I not pick this dude up?
yeah, dude. Yeah. Am I blowing your mind right now?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we can see over here, Mr. Jackson's pretty pissed that he did not get himself.
Wow,
And
I
I
can't believe they trade Bogdanovich.
for no first round picks, Burks and Bogdanovich for three or two second round picks and Quinn Grimes, basically.
Oh, they got Quinn Grimes?
Yeah, but no first round pick.
Yeah, I guess Quentin Grimes that first round pick.
Yeah, I know, but do we really think he is the first?
Well, it's Bogdanovich. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to get a first, but I don't know if it was very plausible.
Yeah, at this point, they probably should have traded him in last year. It's crazy that they just
Yeah.
fumbled the bag. You remember last year they were saying that they could have gotten first round picks for their players.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. But I mean,
Well,
the
you're
thought
gonna
was when you bring Cade back and you're gonna need somebody like Bogdanovich to get the ball in the hole.
no, I completely agree. I completely agree.
That's crazy. Fontecchio is on
I think this is
Detroit.
gonna be
I would imagine he gets off that bench soon.
yeah, he's gonna have to start because in my mind, dude, like also if he's dropping 20, I mean it's been one game, but if he does his regular, who else is gonna be scoring 20 on this team besides Cade?
Well, it's more of a Steven Silas and Monty Williams thing because
What do you mean that they suck?
like Kevin Knox just starts. Is Kevin Knox still on the roster? Like,
No, Kevin Knox got traded to Utah Jazz and then he got
they
cut. But
really
he might
let's
be brought back.
go. Damn, dude, I dropped a Czar. I dropped all these dudes. Let me check the last Pistons starting lineup. Oh, Czar starting.
Do you okay? Have you? We'll move
That's
over.
right. Muscala started, but Fontecchio ended that real quickly.
So we're gonna move over to the Xavier Tillman
Oh
and
man, Azar is starting and I dropped him.
Jaden.
Unbelievable.
So
I
Xavier
held him all
Tillman
in.
and your next one. I don't know if you know this one. Tillman and Jaden Springer were traded to the Knicks. I mean to the Celtics. We have not seen Tillman play. We have not seen. I don't think we've seen Jaden Springer play either. Just checking the stats real quick. Yeah, he's not made his debut. Neither of these guys have made their Celtics debut. But we can go over to the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets did bring in Dennis Schroeder, and they also brought in, I believe, who else was it? Mr.
Whoa, look at the earrings one. Do the earrings one.
Which
That's
one?
so German of him. Bottom left, kind of middle.
This one?
Look at the German. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we'll go over the Brooklyn
Like a
Nets.
mugshot.
They had a couple guys debut last night or the other night as they had received in the trade. Dennis Schroeder, Jordan Goodwin ended up getting waived, I believe. I think they kept the base up, but I do believe they cut Jordan Goodwin, which I'm surprised no one's picked up Goodwin. Yeah, they kept Kieta Base up, which is so geek instead of Jordan Goodwin, who was fucking fantastic last year. But I mean, this year hasn't been the best. Yeah, he's got waived and said it's tough for Goodwin, and he got waived. But yeah, let's talk about his performance the other night. Mr. On Saturday, we got to see Dennis Schroeder play 27 minutes. He had 15 points, 12 assists, and 3 rebounds as the Nets beat the Spurs. Dennis Smith Jr. accidentally, Woj originally traded Dennis Smith Jr. got traded, and I fucking put a hoops hype alert out saying that Dennis Smith Jr. was traded. Then I had to go back and delete it because Woj accidentally traded him when he wasn't. We also got to see Jalen Wilson come out and have 8.6 rebounds.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was Jalen Wilson's third game in a row playing back. He
Oh,
played 4. Yeah, he played 18 on his debut, 40 on his second game, third game.
really?
Yeah, he played 40 in his second
What
NBA game.
how do you do?
Not great. He's scored so far 10, 8, and 8. He's scoring so far in 3 games. Let me get the exact
Check him on
stats.
fantasy.
Yeah, I would pick him up, dude. It seems like they're running him.
I don't have that. I'm in the 9th spot. I don't have that kind of
He, he he is in his last 3 games averaging 8.7 points, 4.3 rebounds, 2.3 assists in his last 3 games, and he has played collectively 88 minutes in 3 games. So 88 divided by 3 is what 22? No, 29.3. So that's what. But yeah, I think Dennis Schroeder coming out here. I fucking love Dennis Schroeder, but I guess the contract or he fits perfect in my mind for this team. I mean, also, can we talk about Ben Simmons low key like actually performing last couple games? You want to hear his stat line?
That's just what he does.
I know, but 13 on 6 of 7, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks.
That his second game back, that 0 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists in 14 minutes. That was
rough. That was rough.
That's just such a great.
But the first game
that's
back,
a great stat line for 14 minutes. Nine
But
rebounds,
Ben's
five assists.
18 minutes, first game back, 10 points, 5 of
Yeah.
5 from the field, 8 rebounds, 11 assists.
Yeah. Chipped in a steal and a block.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next debut. Oh, the Hornets had some great debuts, dude. Did you see Vasilije Micic had his first fucking game ever actually getting more than like 10 minutes? He goes out, goes 6 of 7, drops almost 20 points.
Yeah, he's number one in the waiver. I was thinking about him and Trey, but
I'm telling
I
you,
went
dude.
with Cody Martin like a moron.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that one.
Bro, Cody
Uh,
Martin's a decent fantasy. Oh wait, never mind. I thought you were talking about
so
Caleb.
no,
So Vasilije
he's
Micic
yeah,
on
Caleb's
his
all right.
Vasilije Micic dropped 18 on his fucking debut the other night against the Grizzlies for the Hornets. And he literally, I sent him my group chat. I was like, I don't get why the Thunder did not use Vasilije Micic I was like, I wish the Hawks had gotten him because he could have been used like Bogdanovich. He literally could be like the budget replacement for Bogdanovich if they wanted to. But the Hornets in the first game, you got to see Trey Mann drop 9, 9, and 4. And Trey Mann, first off, his rookie year was solid. His second year was bad. And then this year, he really didn't get any run because he got buried in the depth chart. And Trey Mann was a first round pick who I think he was a guy who was going to, who had potential. He was a guy that I think a lot of people thought, had decent size at 6'5", kind of, similar way that people saw Kobe Buffkin going into the year was how people saw Trey Mann during that draft. Maybe Kobe Buffkin had a little bit higher ride going with that NCAA tournament, but a similar style point guard. I do think Kobe's a bit beefier and stockier, but good change of pace, lanky guys who play the one or the two. And with them not having they waived Ish Smith and Frank Ntilikina, Lamelo is expected to be out for a significant amount of time. You get to see what you have in Trey Mann, and if you do keep him, you get his restricted free agency. And then Seth Curry and Davis Bertans, I'm surprised they played. They shot threes, and I expect them to get bought out. But what do you guys think of the Hornets debut? I really think Grant Williams had 15 and 8. He looked good. He's the defensive guy that they needed. I think he's a good piece moving forward. You could kind of see next year's roster minus Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, Nick Richards, Cody Martin, Trey Mann, Grant Williams, Vasilije Micic, LaMelo Ball. You have 7 guys right there. I still think that team's shit, but like the rest of the roster could be filled out with defenders and could look better next year. Thoughts, guys?
I need to see when LaMelo comes
We
back before
no
I pick up
idea.
any of those guys. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be back in February, but I need him to come back for Nick Richards.
Yeah, I think that Grant Williams is certainly a dose of toughness on that defense. Someone that'll bang with people and shoot in space and make life easier for everybody else. Micic can play. I mean, it's cool that he's going to get an environment where he can show it off better than OKC. And I think Trey Mann will maybe flash some also.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree.
Future Rocket.
Did you like
Bring
that
him home.
comparison of like how I think Kobe Buffkin's a little better, but like they were viewed kind of similar. Like Trey Mann had some hype going on to him coming into the prospect. They're kind of like
Yeah,
those 6. Yeah.
right, big guards that can slash, maybe orchestrate an offense. Yeah.
They could play the combo guard. They could develop into a combo guard too if they had to.
Trey Mann's shooting has kind of regressed / plateaued throughout his time in the league. True. Is that accurate?
It's hard though because he's never really had
Right. Really small
consistent.
sample, inconsistent run. True.
So it's really hard to say that because all everything you just said. Because well, if he played, an 82 game stretch each year, how would that, So it's hard with that team because basically, if you're not playing well, they just won't play you, especially because they're like timeline moved. But PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford are looking like the 2 best pickups of the season. It looked like exactly what Dallas needed. And I said it all the time. PJ Washington, I mean, after you had pointed out that he had played about 1,000 possessions, and I believe it's like almost 30% of his possessions this year with the Hornets at the 5 position. So I said, not only was he a guy that was going to give them positional versatility by giving them the 5, by moving on, I wrote an article for Hoops Hype saying that the 4 trade destinations that made sense, one of them being Dallas, because they could have either done a package around Rashawn Holmes and a young guy, which they ended up doing Rashawn Holmes and a pick for Daniel Gafford, which is Chef's Kiss, which I had made a YouTube video about. And someone commented yesterday saying I predicted the future, but that's here nor there. Just reading tea leaves, man. But PJ Washington combo forward, allowing that they go big some nights where they could run Kleba or Derek Jones at power forward. It's Washington at the 3, Luca, Kyrie, then Gafford or Lively. And the cool thing is having Gafford here is obviously Lively's better, but it's the same athletic rim running, brick wall screen setting, shot blocking big that basically 24 minutes a night, you basically never lose, because every time you would lose Lively on the floor, he would sit. You were outsized, and now you kind of have that guy. And then even with PJ out there, now you have Derek Jones, PJ, and it's just Grant Williams. He just never fit in, and supposedly he was rubbing people the wrong way. And I think he didn't give you the size that you needed. And plus, him being outperformed, like I said in my article, by Dante Exum and Derek Jones Jr.'s, who were, I think minimum contracts, it just did not justify there. So now you get a guy who, if he can rebound to who he was a year ago, you're either going to have a really good solid starter, or you're going to have a guy who's really good off the bench. And because they're both in the first years of their deals, you have them for the foreseeable future. And I understand some people are going to be upset about the fact that they gave up the assets that they did, but because they're on multi-year deals, I feel like at least you can trade them and get some assets back. PJ dropped 14 and 5. Daniel had 19 and 9. Thoughts, guys?
He had 19 and 9 in like 17 minutes, dude. Is Lively a drop? I love this trade so much. The Dallas Mavericks are going to win it all, but
I mean, dude, more than anything else, turn your brain on. Lively is a sell more than a drop. You could try to
think
flip him.
So?
Maybe
Flip him for what though?
Go find somebody hurt. Yeah, I mean, Gafford's still only a tops 25 to 30-minute dude. They're going to run Lively for probably about the same.
Gafford has conditioning issues.
20 to 30. Yeah, but I mean, circling back to the Mavs, I am certainly among the people that from like a business asset department, it scares me. But fit-wise, it is a chef's kiss. I mean, these dudes are athletic and big, and you're putting them next to Luca. It's good.
I agree.
People forget they made the Western Conference Final.
I just think there's a lot of people saying that they mortgaged their future. I mean, they screwed up part of Luka's
their future's Luka, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The future's Luka. And the thing, they were smart. They did not they took guys who were on decent deals, okay, that they still control them for the next foreseeable future, allowing them the flexibility that in this offseason or next year, if they need to trade them, they can, and use them as assets.
I think you gotta take the LeBron route from here on out.
I agree. Every year's championship or bust. You can't.
So is this Mavs team in the conversation as the third best team in the West?
They're the best team in the West.
I mean, the way they just
okay.
they mollywopped the Thunder. They mollywopped the healthy Thunder.
They murdered them.
They're not
embarrassing.
They're not a top 3 team in the West to me, though.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to lose in the second round of the playoffs, so I want that in.
Dallas plays the Suns.
I want it in ink.
On Thursday when we get back from All-Star Weekend. That's going to be a big game.
And they got books number. Lucas got books number.
Then you got the Pacers, Cavs right after that. So that's a 3-game stretch of tough teams. Then you have Raptors, Celtics. So Celtics there. Then you have Sixers. We don't know if Joel, but like they will play, I think, their toughest matchup. That is a road trip. Yes.
So our consensus answer is it's a top 3 team in the West. That was my question.
For sure, yeah. Well, I want to turn it into
yes. The only two teams I feel confident. I mean,
Clippers and
T-Wolves. Clippers and T-Wolves are the 2 teams that
I can't watch it, dude. I can't get by it, man.
I take this back. I take out the Clippers, and I think the Nuggets and the team. No, because the problem with the Clippers is the Clippers, no offense, yes, they have size, but they don't have size. Like they don't have the size in the same way that the Mavs.
But as we saw last year, you don't even need size.
I mean, well, you do. I mean, Jokic.
You need enough size.
You need a size.
So I'm just saying, going into the playoffs, will Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns
choke? Yes.
Yeah, Jokic and Gordon, and then
I hope they don't.
Well, the Clips, because the Clips power forward is Kawhi next to Zubats, and then they have Mason Plumlee and Daniel Tice.
That's plenty of size.
I don't know. Oh well, let me just tell you, you got 7'1" or 7 foot Gafford and 7 foot fucking Lively. You got 7 foot and 7 foot Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony
I'll make him
Towns, and
shoot.
then you got
Make
Nikola
all of them
Jokic,
shoot.
and you
I,
got Aaron Gordon, you got Zeke Nanji and DeAndre Jordan. I'm just saying.
People around this time like to forget that guys like Julius Randle and Demotis Sabonis and your man Rudy Goofy Gobert
No, we're talking about at
in
the
the
top of the
playoffs.
league.
Steven Adams.
Oh, you're
They
saying
can't.
disappear?
They they have to disappear. I mean, they can make it work in limited playing time, but
I mean, I just think that Kawhi is in like absolute prime form right now. I think this
dude,
Clippers
they're
team is not to be
balling,
fucked
man.
with.
They're
Yeah, but
the
knowing
playoffs are
that,
gonna be awesome. They're
what
gonna
have you
be
done
awesome.
for me lately, guys? What have you done for me lately? And he's not been healthy.
They've lost
I'm going to
like
skip Doug McDermott because he played 7 minutes and recorded no statistics. Is that cool? Yes.
no,
Yeah, bro. I
no,
don't know if
pull it
I
up.
love that. I didn't love that deal for Indiana. I think that like there's not going to be a crazy market for Buddy Hield. You're telling me he could? I mean, if they could not re-sign him, then obviously I like the deal because you can't let him walk. You're
That's
telling me
what.
it was impossible to re-sign Buddy Hield?
Yeah, that's what came out. That's what Keith Pompey said that.
But what do we think
Uh,
that Buddy is going to get paid this offseason, realistically?
Buddy's probably gonna get like 15, 14. Luke
You think
Kennard money.
so? You think
Luke
someone's
Kennard.
going to splurge that on him?
The Sixers probably. Yeah, Luke Kennard money, and they gave
Yeah,
up.
true. Yeah, true. The Sixers might do that for sure.
And I thought it was a good deal for the Pacers because they turned around and they replaced his shooting with Doug McDermott. Like they're gonna try out their young guys first, and if the young guys don't work, they have a fucking guy that they know will shoot 40% in Doug McDermott and can grab rebounds. I just think it was a good budget replacement in terms of like, hey, we have all these young guys. We'll try out Shepard. We'll try out Mathurin.
Nemhard.
Nemhard. We'll try out all those guys in Heald's position. If they all falter, guess what? We brought in Buddy Hield, who I mean not Buddy. We brought in Doug McDermott, who is the best off curl screen 3-point shooter in the league, and shot 40% every year of his career, and has been a guy who can grab up to 6, 7 rebounds a game willingly. So
Isn't Neesmith one of the best like catch and shoot 3-point shooters in the league this year?
yeah, off the
Yeah.
key.
I
Off
mean,
the key.
that dude
He-
is
he's
turning
blossoming.
into something nice, man. I can't
Yeah, he
believe I
is.
dropped that guy.
Yeah, he is.
Unbelievable.
I think it was just
Yeah.
the roster crunch thing, and he just didn't fit their timeline. They couldn't wait for him to figure it out. The Celtics, more indicative of that. There's just you see more and more of these young guys when teams, especially on teams that we're just starting to see with the Thunder, that you just can't wait for that development to happen.
Yeah.
And you just some days, I'm sorry, you just have to. You hope for that they find greener pastures. Similar to Jordan Goodwin. You think the Suns wanted to trade Jordan Goodwin? I mean, he didn't have the best year, but they just couldn't wait for him to, take that step. Now, let's talk about the guy that got gifted to the Bucks so they could make cap space to sign Mr.
Anthony Davis.
Kyle Lowry. And so what we got to see was Mr. First off, Pat Bev got reunited with Rex Kalimian or whatever you say his name, and also Mr. Doc Rivers, who he seems to be some of his favorite coaches of all time, interestingly enough. But yeah, so we got to see Pat Bev come out in the first game for the Bucks, and what was impressive was in this Bucks game, against the Hornets is, always take it with a grain of salt. But in a game where he played 12 minutes, you could see that he gave them a good defensive swing. One thing that I really like, I know he only had 3 points, but AJ Green out there, I like AJ Green. I think he definitely should. I love Marjon Beauchamp, but AJ Green looked more impactful than I've seen Marjon Beauchamp be all season. No offense to, but I do like the idea of Pat Bev being there. He was basically way better than fucking Campaign has ever been. I don't think he'll be the difference maker, but his intensity will probably help the guys get back into that defensive focus that they've been lacking. Thoughts about the Pat Bev? I mean, he was gifted.
I love it. I love it. He gives
Henry?
them that edge.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. He is already getting chippy with people.
Look at that, man. Bulls legend.
Shout out John Hollinger, who said that AJ Green was a cut candidate if the Bucks wanted to save some money. I thought that was a fried take.
I like.
Well,
I
he is
know
34.
No,
35.
AJ Green.
Yeah.
Oh, haha. Good one.
Yeah. You're so funny, dude. Did people ever say you're a stand-up comedian?
Every day.
Yeah, I bet. They
And
go over here.
with or without your clown makeup.
That
Oof.
was a good one. I did expect that from you, Henry.
I don't even get the joke.
He's just saying you're a fucking clown. Fucking idiot.
AJ Green,
AJ Brown.
Josh Green.
Josh
Jalen
Brown.
Green.
Isn't Josh Brown the one who beat his wife?
Whoa.
Who's
Whatever happened
Josh?
to
Who's
Sterling
Josh
Brown?
Brown?
You guys know what I'm talking about? Josh Brown.
Oh, Sterling Brown's G League rights were just traded from the Greensboro Swarm to the Westchester Knicks, I believe.
The Knicks love Sterling Brown. They love any guy named Brown.
Did I just see Mason Jones did something?
Yes,
get
you got
picked
signed a
up?
two-way. You got a two-way. You got a two-way, bud.
To where?
Fuck.
That was one of my first ever videos. Was Mason Green or Mason Jones?
Kings.
The next James Harden.
You know who actually had a great performance in his debut? 76ers campaign.
Oh, this guy's a goof.
I'm kidding. 6 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, 6 assists, 1 rebound as they
I still like it though.
Hey, that's about as good as it gets if you're campaigning.
basically.
Bulls legend.
You know who I'm stoked for? Did he end up playing? I did not see if I don't know if they've even played yet. He has not played yet. Monte Morris has not played.
Did he get fat or something, or was he injured or what?
He was injured all year. So let's talk about. Well, this is a terrible pick because this is not on the of them on the Knicks.
Look at those clean ass jerseys.
Those are wrong team, but yeah, if that's what you want. Al Burks though fucking came out and was cooking. Boyan had the disappointing game. They also ran him at power forward, weirdly enough, at times, which I definitely found quite interesting. But shout out Fadeaway Hoops for this image or Fadeaway World.
I saw OG's out like 3 weeks. 3
Yeah.
months.
So in
Really
their
sucks.
debut, we got to see Boyan. Boyan had the shittier game, but again, he was playing power forward due to the fact of like the lineup issues that they were having, that they kind of had him.
Randall's out.
Yeah, and
OG's
they were
out.
Precious Achua was their start. Okay, starting center was Taj Gibson. Taj played like 15 minutes. Then Precious Achua started the rest of the or played the rest of the way at starting center or not start. Just remained in the game as the big. And the next in was Boyan. Boyan had 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, but he did take 10 field goals, 2 of 6 threes. And everyone's just going, yeah, Boyan's not going to fit because he doesn't fit Tom Thibodeau. Kyle Korver. Who else? What did they have? Rip Hamilton at one point. Who else on those
legends?
Who else did they have? I'm just saying, Dave. I think Jamal Crawford was on one of those teams, but I mean, Kyle Korver was the number one example in there that Tom Thibodeau has always had a 3-point shooter or a scorer on the lineup that he surrounds with defense, and as long as the guy gives him the effort, Thibs will make it work. He just wants the effort. Al Burks went 22 minutes,
hurting himself somewhere. I know.
Yeah. Burks at 22 minutes, 22 points, 7 14 of the field, 4 7 from 3, 2 rebounds.
Did you say 22 points?
In 22 minutes, yes. What do you think of this pickup, guys?
A clean ass beard. Love it. Love the Knicks tape. We're
So
back.
did I. Henry?
So back.
He's always had it. Alec Burks has always had it. Bojan can still fill it up. I was super high on the Knicks before this. I mean, it's a great move.
You know who we did not talk about? I agree with that. I think it's a great move. And
Steven
I do think they're one of the contenders on this team.
I think that they have a strong enough team identity when Julius and OG are healthy that they can push Boston for the East.
I agree with that. They could definitely push Boston for the East. And I honestly think it's going to be a Boston Knicks Eastern Conference Finals.
Awesome.
So hype for basketball, honestly.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think it's that. I don't mean to be overzealous. I think the Bucks and the Heat, they're both having their own problems. I mean, I'm never going to count out the Heat, but I think the Bucks did too little, too late. They hired the wrong coach. They acquired the wrong personnel. They didn't make enough moves. I don't see that happening. No offense to them. I mean, I hope everything works out.
Chris Middleton.
Yeah, and Chris Middleton's,
Bosch is everything. Is that injury as bad as it appeared?
I'm confused by the wording on that. I expect it to be kind of maybe a multi-week thing tops. I expect it to be like a 7 to 14 day thing potentially.
Yeah, this doesn't. He's just gonna be out for a minute. I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
it was just vague wording from Doc, but I don't
I
think
don't
it's
know
like
what a
super
minute
long term.
means. I'll tell
To
you what a
miss,
minute
I'm saying
means.
if he's day to day, he's going to miss a few more games, according to Eric Neem. 8 to 10 days he's out, and they're gonna revalue him in 8 to 10 days, and then they're gonna go from there.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
They're fucked.
By the way,
Let
Buddy
Dame
Hield
exist.
dropped 23, gave him the scoring punch that they needed. Yeah. What you guys think of Buddy Hield? Anything there, or they just need this to keep them afloat till Joel Embiid comes back, basically.
Paul Reed.
I'm a big fan of Buddy. I think the Pacers are going to miss him a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a
I think
guy.
you're sorry.
Go.
I was going to say I think you're only going to play Doug like 12 minutes a game.
Again, I think Doug was just break the glass. If the young guys don't work out, you just have a bona fide shooter that you know is going to work out.
Yeah, but I cut you off so you had another Buddy point. If you have something you're going to say there.
It's just to keep them afloat, hopefully above the 6th seed until Joel comes back. They needed someone to replace that scoring punch. So, like, they brought in him because they know he can help Tyrese shoulder the load. Now, Royce O'Neal
And campaign.
And Tobias Harris and Paul
And Kyle
Reed,
Lowry.
and Kyle Lowry. So we got Royce O'Neal, who had 3 points, 4 rebounds, and assist, steal, block on 1 of 3 field goals, 1 of 2 from 3. David Roddy, did he play? I did not watch this game. He did not play. What do you guys think of this pickup? I just think they got 2 of the guys the same way. Also, another thing, you know, like how in baseball they have, this is a great quote from The Athletic. They said, you know, like how in baseball trades you have guys to be announced later in trades. Royce O'Neal was basically the to be announced later guy in the Nets trade. They could have just gotten him in the Kevin Durant Nets trade a year ago, and they just traded for him later. My 2 cents on that one.
Baseball's
That's true.
back.
That's true. And you would think that really would not have been the obstacle. Like if the Suns asked for that, I feel like the Nets certainly would have complied, or they would have found a way to get that done.
I agree. Oh. Now let's do the last 2 guys that are worth mattering.
Did you to play?
You don't want no. He did not. I checked. None of Memphis played their new guys. The Wizards, did they play Rashawn? They did not play Rashawn. Let's see if the Utah Jazz played their guys. Give us a second. Against the Suns. Did the Jazz play? Dude, Lucas Šamanić saw 2 minutes. Oh my God. The Suns did not play any of their guys, and the Wizards did not. So we talked about everyone that potentially could have played since the deadline. We talked about Mitch Kupchak leading. So let's go into the 2024 NBA draft. And what we're hearing right
Big
now.
Duke win.
Big Duke win, yes. As of the latest, CBS
Did Kansas
Sports,
win?
Kansas did win a nail biter that they shouldn't have won. But over here, we got to see Alex R continues to be at number 1, just that physical profile. Reed Shepherd, I don't believe this. Fuck this. He's not the second best player in this fucking draft class. Zachary Rishashar is literally
name right. Fuck.
Zachary Rishashar.
He's French, dude.
It's Zachary Rishashar. Zachary Rishashar. I know that for a fact. Zachary Rishashar. Rishashar. Zachary Rishashar. He's being compared to Michael Porter Jr. offensively without the back injury. And defense, he doesn't have really good passing vision, or, you know, he can play either forward spot. I'm a fan of his. Rob Dillingham, again, too high for me.
Number 1 pick.
He's a good guard, but I don't see him going that high. Cody Williams is J-Dub's little brother, and honestly, he looks better than J-Dub did at his age. Jacoby Walters, a guy who's, you know, a combo guard, could play some defense, got that 6'11" wingspan. I don't know a bunch about Dalton Netch. What do you know about him or Ketch? Henry?
Kind of a jumbo wing or combo forward that can rise and create for himself off the dribble with the jumper, turnaround jumper. Is like tough shot maker, but also like a dude with
Gordon
size
Hayward?
that can score inside. Yeah, that's a decent comp.
All
But
right.
like fresh out of JUCO, and really like is bursting on the scene at Tennessee.
Nikola Topic has been compared to the white Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I personally think he's arguably the second best, maybe even the best player in this draft. I do believe Isaiah Collier is arguably
Future
the
Rocket.
best point guard in this class.
Man, USC is just a. I just
Dog
love
shit.
USC sports. They're
Stephen
so great jerseys.
Stephen Castle, I thought's more of a swing man than a point guard, right, Henry? I don't know why they have him as a point guard.
He was heralded as a jumbo point guard coming
Oh,
into college. I mean, he's playing alongside Tristan Newton, so that's kind of a factor in his usage this year.
yeah, I saw him more as a combo guard wing. Is my mind with that. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, like kind of like Dalen Terry, maybe.
Yeah, who was functionally a point guard at Arizona also, but like
He got
it just
he got more run.
yeah.
Kyle Filipowski, I've seen
Future
as
Bowl.
bigger Nas Reed, as they've said. Tijay Saloon. I need to do a scouting report on him, but from what I'm seeing is he's a 6'9" guy with a motor and with like some size and a good frame. His frame reminds me of Rui Hachimura's.
Always fade the French.
I like that. This is an interesting character that I was unaware of.
Yeah, keep him out. Keep an eye out for him. I need to watch more of his game defensively, but frame very similar to a Rui Hachimura frame.
Well, and this is a draft without a lot of those like jumbo creators, so that's pretty
Mhm.
fascinating.
I don't think Zach Edey's going this high, but you guys can take that. Kevin
Dude,
McCullough,
he fits New Orleans so well.
he does.
Okay.
Kevin McCullough
That'd be
is
kind of cool.
he's a guy who's shooting up the draft board because he can fucking finally score now and shoot a three ball, which was like all that was holding him back. Mateus Buzelis is kind of like the poor man's Franz Wagner. They're saying that'd be a good fit for Miami.
Future
Portland
Bowl.
gets their Gerald Wallace clone. Johnny Furphy, I don't think he's going to come. So
He
they
looks
say
so
he's a
goofy.
shooting guard. He is goofy. They say he's a shooting guard. I think he reminds me of Denny Avdia. Take that with what you want. Ryan Dunn's a really good defensive guy, can play multiple positions. He's a guy who's bursted on the scene this year. Kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. Not particularly great at anything that's on the offensive side, but on defense, he's a fucking maestro. You agree with that, Henry?
Yeah, I would say if there were an arc that he could continue ascending on, it would kind of be like Jalen Johnson.
That's a good one. Good one. I remember. I know Osu is a really good rebounder. I don't know why he kind of reminds me of Nekio Kongu, but they say he's a small forward. I thought he's a power forward.
I am really out on Oso. He's kind of a finesse, small ball big who's really like a true four because he can't shoot
Yeah.
and like operates a lot of Marquette's offense at the elbow. But
So
I
he's
think he's
like a more skilled Dwight Powell.
yeah, I mean, I just think he's a great college basketball player in my flop as a pro. But yeah, Dwight Powell is a decent comp, honestly. Yeah.
Word. Yeah. That's because I saw him as like an undersized forward. Like body wise, he does remind me of Dwight Powell. Now, Donovan Klingen, I've seen him as Jakob Pertl 2.0.
Yeah,
Take,
I like that.
take that as is. I really like Tyler Smith. Kind of gives me a little bit of like a skinnier John Collins vibe.
Mhm.
Like more of a 3 version of John Collins. Like if John Collins had more athleticism, it was like more finesse.
But this is a guy that doesn't really have the foot speed to defend on the wings, I feel like.
I know. I think he's a combo forward.
I guess it depends though. Could he guard a guy like, when they play Minnesota? Could he guard Jaden McDaniels on that three? Sure.
I think PJ Washington's a good comp for Tyler Smith. Bigger
Yeah.
PJ Washington. A bigger
I like
PJ
that.
Washington. Eves Messi, I'm not
Oh.
huge on him. I just know he's a 7-footer who can rebound, block, and he runs the floor well. Henry? Eves Messi?
Oh,
Yeah. I don't have much more to add on his game.
You guys are missing
Oh.
this elite playoff. I totally missed this.
Are you watching the golf highlight on the screen?
Yeah, dude. Charlie Hoffman is in the playoff. That's crazy. Are you serious? Let's go.
I'm going to pause this.
What?
But we're going to keep scrolling, you asshole. You want the entertainment?
It's
There you
the
go.
end of the first round in the month of February. Just leave it
All right.
on.
So DJ Wagner's kind of the Cole Anthony of this draft class, son of an former NBA player, kind of inefficient chalk shooker, you could say. Like he's not really the most efficient guy, but I'm giving him my Cole Anthony grade. I'm not saying they're the same player. Gonna follow that kind of archetype in my opinion. People are gonna like him because he's the son of an NBA player. He's gonna go higher than he should, and he could figure it out. Or he's in that Cole Anthony, Jalen Brunson mold way people view players. I don't know
Casey
anything
Anthony.
about Ulrich Kamchi. I guess I'm gonna have to fucking see this guy. He's some dude from Africa with a 6'11" frame with a 7'4" wingspan. So keep your eyes out for him. Bobby Klintman, I really like him. He was in the draft last year. He's a guy playing in the NBL, fucking shit up. And for me, I think he's kind of like a bigger DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Bobby also. Decent processor, kind of like a
Jack
Swiss
of all
Army knife
trades.
of a four-man, yeah.
Justin Edwards was like the number one pick like a year ago in the pre-draft because he's a fucking man with his body, 6'8", 230. I mean 205. But he sucks at everything. Like he's not good at anything. Like, I'm sorry. But he's 6'8". I think his floor is being Derrick Jones Jr. and his ceiling is, fucking figuring it out and being really good. He's a guy who has he's probably the Dariq Whitehead of this class.
More or less athletic than Kevin Knox.
Well, I don't even know what Kevin Knox's athleticism is. It is so
Right, but Kevin Knox was
sparse.
a guy that could really
He never uses it in the NBA.
yeah, well for sure. But like in college, he was a guy that could
Bouncy.
well, I even think he could create for himself and gain separation at a decent
Nice.
level.
Jared McCain was a guy who was up on the board earlier in the season, and he's kind of a undersized. I kind of see him in the same vein as a Colin Sexton. Undersized combo guard. Hunter Saleh.
This Wake Forest team is really good that Hunter Sallis is on. And he's
Yeah,
leading
yeah.
the
And I was
squad.
about to say he was a transfer, and he was one of those guys who transfers and clicks. So he's a guy who's got a prototypical frame, reminiscent of Ochai Abaji, in my opinion. So I could see people viewing him like that. I don't think he's as skilled as Ochai, but very decent. Deron Holmes, he's Nick Claxton with a 3-point shot.
So superstar.
Yeah. And then the last one is Tyler Colquitt. He was a guy who was higher on the board coming into the season because of their run last.
Holy shit.
What?
No way someone gave him a first round grade. That's frightening.
I wouldn't give him a first round grade either. This is CBS. They don't do a great job, but that is the NBA mock draft for today. I forgot they changed Pirtle. Alrighty, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Pirtle for today. Show the silhouette. That looks like
JaVale McGee.
Cody. I thought it was Cody Martin.
Caleb Martin? No.
They would be the same age. He's also
It's not JaVale either. Damn, too young.
Trey Lyles.
That is. I feel like I've got him.
He's a forward who's in the Southwest.
Derrick Jones?
Tari Eason.
Not Tari Eason. I thought the same thing. And he's not on Houston, but he's in the Southwest.
Winning no on Derrick Jones?
Yeah. Or aren't they Northwest?
No, they're Southwest.
Yeah.
All right, let's start thinking here. There we go. Nice work.
You like that one, guys? All right. I think that's the show for today, guys. Go Life.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Fuck you.
I predicted they'd win.
You guys suck. Chiefs, that was awful.
My score prediction wasn't close.
Jackson.
Yeah, none of our score predictions were close, Jackson.
Jackson, I got a bet for you if you're trying to gamble.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton, All-Star Game MVP. I'll send you my referral code.
Referral code? What do you mean?
He wants you to bet.
You got to make a Bovada account.
Oh, you can just make Bovada accounts?
Mm-hmm.
Can you really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, Henry loves it.
I'll set you up. You can let me know.
Hit me with those deets.
That's interesting.
Bro, a dollar to win 14, 10 to win 140, 100 to win 14,000.
That is pretty unreal.
Yeah, that's nice. Is he gonna be
in his
good to go?
in his home city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he
why
gonna be good
not?
to go?
He's playing a lot right now, and he's starting, and he's a flashy dude. I think it's a crazy play.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head out and